How are you guys?
Good,
Great
good.
talking to you.
And yourself.
I'll start with an honest confession. I bear a small grudge that I have to wait on weekly basis for new episodes. So, the
Yep.
grudge is there, but,
I get it. I get it.
patience, patience. How has it been so far? Have you been getting a lot of feedback from the audience about what their expectations are for this season?
Oh, sure. If not just right, face to face, with folks, walking around. But yeah, and I think the gap between season two and season three only built that expectation. But yeah, I mean, it's the fact that so much television and content is created, and that people take 45 minutes to an hour and 6 minutes out of their weeks to check in on our show and theorize about it, whether in a positive way, negative way, indifferent way. It's still it's nice to be on people's minds, and we thank them for the interest.
What would you say inspires the writing? Obviously, well, let's talk about, the last episode in Amsterdam and how rich it was, Brandon.
Well, it was pretty thrilling to get to do an Amsterdam episode. Jason and I had met in Chicago, and you and Joe Kelly met in Chicago, I believe, as well. But then we worked together in Amsterdam, and then I worked with Joe in Amsterdam. And Amsterdam is a life-changing experience for even people who visit, but if you live there, all the more so. And it's also like where we first all really got into football, among the many other pieces of growth and life change that happened there. So to do an episode there felt like, going back to the mothership, and so we took great care with it just so we could, honor the city that we love so much. And I realized the other day we managed to get through a whole 66 minutes in Amsterdam. No one even, I think, says weed,
No.
much less smokes it.
No.
We love you, Amsterdam.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of great storylines in it.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next question to you, Jason, about the character arc and the story arc that Ted Lasso has. Did you realize from the beginning that there was so much juice to this character and that he could go in so many different ways?
I did have an instinct towards that. Yeah, it was just when we did the first commercial in 2013. We played it pretty straight ahead for comedy, and then by the time we got to do the second one, it unlocked like this bit of enthusiasm and sort of his ability to take negative things and spin them in a positive way, and that and then once the idea for the show started knocking around in our heads, it seemed like if you just tamped down some of those more broadly comedic sensibilities of the first commercial, you could absolutely tell and go on a journey with the character. That's what it felt like to me, and so far so good. But yeah, I think when you play things real, if you can't tell necessarily if someone's playing a comedy or a drama with the sound off, then and it's all in the eyes, I think that can, any one of the characters could surprise you.
Yeah, and I feel like the audience is engaged and attached to every single character. I mean, it's very rare that the ensemble in itself is so important to the audience. At what point did you realize that the show had this special touch to it?
I mean, I think our first read-through of the first episode, we used to do read-throughs before episodes in season one, which was a luxury that schedules no longer afforded us after about 7 or 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And this was a cast who we had never met for the most part, because they'd all been cast in the UK while we were in LA. And once you had everyone in the room and you could feel the energy of that, it was really like, oh, this might be more than the sum of its parts. These people are great. And British actors, I mean, not that Americans aren't, but British actors are just incredible. Their ability to hairpin turn from comic moments into serious moments is exactly what the doctor ordered, the doctor being the show Ted Lasso. So yeah, it was early once we had everyone together.